Shruti. Our today's speaker, Dr. Vinit Kumar Jai Prakash Dongre, is currently working as professor and HOD Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department at Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, Kandivali, Mumbai. He has work experience of 21 years in the teaching field, and his area of interest is antenna design, microwave engineering, and RF MEMS. He has published 45 papers in national conferences, international conferences, and journals. He has also filed 4 patents with Indian Patent Office. He is recognized as PhD guide in University of Mumbai for electronics and telecommunication engineering. He has also guided 14 ME projects. He got the research grant from Innovation and in Entrepreneurship Development Cell, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He also got research grant from University of Mumbai for his 2 research projects in the year 2012 and 2017. He is working as technical advisor for industry as well. He is working as IIT Bombay Remote Center Coordinator. In April 2018, he has been awarded by IEEE Bombay section and Ready to Innovate worldwide for his contribution towards IPR awareness and motivating students and faculties for filing copyrights and patents. He has organized 3 conferences and coordinated 23 short-term training programs and workshops at TCET. He has participated and won first rank overall championship for University of Mumbai in Avishkar 2011, the state level inter-university research convention at Shivaji University, Kolhapur in January 2012. He has worked as editor and reviewer for IEEE International Conference in India, Malaysia, and Indonesia. He has given the talks on intellectual property rights, antenna and microwave design aspects, research methodology, formulating effective research, enhancing quality through NBA to achieve sustainability and employability, and stress management. He has achieved awards for Best Actor, Best Director in Marathi, Hindi, and English dramas, and he is also fond of Indian classical music and playing flute. So, this was all about our today's speaker. Now, I would like Shruti to carry forward the session.
Thank you so much, Riddhi, for this wonderful introduction of our speaker. We are elated to have you with us and thank you for consenting to this webinar. Without any further ado, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Dongre, and I am sure that the audience is all ears to the information that you are going to impart. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shruti. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for the detailed introduction. So I'll start the today's lecture. So today I'll first share the screen. So the today's topic is the physical significance of mathematics to solve the engineering problems. So this is the topic is related to mathematics, but application is in the engineering. So I have to just give the details, as I am not the mathematician. I am an engineer, and I am from the Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department. I try to make this talk, this presentation as interdisciplinary as, but I'll take some example from my own field sometimes. So the thing is here, why we require to understand the mathematics as the fundamental. As we know, the India is the pioneer in the mathematics. India has given so many things to the entire world in the mathematics. Now, when we see the student, what they are doing in the mathematics, and so many times they are afraid about this. So when I try to understand this, what are the probable cause for this, is that we are not taking it as the way that it should be. Whatever the applications should be there, in the engineering or in the day-to-day life. I'm trying to take the application in the day-to-day life. So we are not trying to correlate this. So how to correlate this? So this is what an attempt for a small part of mathematics to the simple day-to-day examples. Now, what are the examples? So here I'll take some example of vector analysis. So here in the vector analysis, we know if the vector start, we start with the name, that is what the dot product and the cross product. So we know what is dot product. So in the chat box, can the participant just give me if I will have a vector, that is vector A and vector B. So can you just give me the formulation for the vector A dot B, what will be the result, or how you can calculate that vector A dot B, what will be the result? Vector A dot vector B. Yes, AB cos theta, correct, correct. So many answers, AB cos theta. Yes, correct answer I am getting. Thank you very much. So we know that if you will have the vector A and vector B, so we take a magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, and theta is the angle between vector A and B, and we take that vector A magnitude, vector B magnitude, cos angle between these two, so we'll get the dot product. Correct, absolutely right. Now the second term, what we got related to the dot product is the second is the cross product. Now can you give me the formula for the cross product for the same two vector? That is AB sine theta. Okay, AB sine theta. Okay, so correct. So it is the correct answer, that is the AB sine theta. So if you will take a cross product, so in the cross product, what we do, that is the magnitude, again magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, and we take now the sine angle, and the resultant will be the cross product of the resultant of the cross product. It will be the what? Vector quantity. So at the end we take the n cap. N cap is the vector. Yes, correct. N cap is the vector. What is the n cap? Can anyone just put what is n cap? Unit vector, correct. Now what is this normal vector or the unit vector? What is this? If you will have the plane of application of the vector, suppose plane of application of vector in this area, so what will be the perpendicular to this vector? So to this, so you will have this either to the upward or to the downward. So this is what the unit vector. So this formulation that we know, so it is good. Now we will go something beyond this. Now I'll ask one question, that why we require a cross product or the dot product. I'll take one simple example to understand or to clear my question. That is, if I will take the multiplication simple, if 3 into 2, what is the result? Can you put in chat box? 3 into 2, 6. Obviously, it is not a question, it is a simple. So 3 into 2. So 3 into 2, it is a 6, it is a simple multiplication. Now, if you will take this multiplication, is it any 3.2 or 3 cross 2? Is such anything happen? No. 3, you don't have the 3.2 or 3 cross 2, it is the simple multiplication. So the question here is, as in the simple numerical multiplication, number multiplication, we don't have this dot product or cross product. So the thing is, we know the formula, we know the things, we have solved this in the paper, in the example. So here we have to understand why we require this. So can anyone put in the chat box why we require this dot product or the cross product? Any opinion? Okay. So I'll take the simple example, as we have taken the vector, yes, resultant of two vector, okay, space, okay, deal with the real life, okay, real life problem, cross product, okay. Okay, so I'll take one example. Thank you for your comment. To find out the direction and all these things. Okay, so now I'll take the simple example with the as the same a vector a and b we are taken. I'll take the same. What I'll take this work done in the high school level. We have studied this. What this force into displacement is equal to work done. At the high school level, we have studied this. What is force into displacement is the work done. So force into displacement is the work done. I'll take simple example. Force is what? Force is the vector quantity. Displacement is what? Displacement is also the vector quantity. And work done is what? Scalar quantity. So it's satisfied with your basic funda of this. So what is this force into displacement? I'll take this example. This is what an object. I have taken one object. Now what I'll do? I'll apply a force. So when I'll apply a force, so force into displacement, it displaces from this location to this location. So this is what the force is applied and the object get displaced from here to here. So force into displacement is the work done. It's a simple funda. It's a simple thing that we all have studied at the high school level. Okay. Now this is okay. Now this is the example for the dot product. Now what I'll do for the cross product? So cross product, I'll take the same example, that is force into displacement. That is the force cross displacement and resultant is force. How come? Because this is what we studied, force into displacement is work done. So how this is the force cross displacement, that is vector F cross vector D is equals to the vector F, resultant is force. How it is possible? So I'll give you the simple example. Have you seen the screw jack? Obviously, yes. Roadside, if the truck get punctured, so what they do, just to change the tire, they lift the truck vertically upward. So how the phenomena is there? So it is like similar to this. This is what the best available with me as an example of screw jack. So what is this? This is what force. Now to the lever, they are applying force. Now this is the lever, I am applying force to the lever and it get displaced from here to here. So again applying force, although the displacement is the angular displacement, applying force. So what is the resultant? At the tip, it get vertically upward. You can see whatever the object, whatever the tip, here it get vertically upward. I'll just stop the screen so that you can see in the full. So when you will see this force into displacement, whatever the force and displacement. If I kept any object, so this due to this screw, the object get vertically upward. So what is your concept of the cross product? The force into displacement, resultant is force. So if it will get displaced, I am applying force, it will get displaced, angular displacement. The resultant is the force vertically upward. So the same, the truck or any vehicle get lifted vertically upward by this phenomena. So we are doing force into displacement, resultant is force. Now just check whether it is satisfying your all mathematical parameter. Now what the unit vector is that? Resultant of the cross product. I'll share the screen, we'll come back to this. Now, what is the resultant? Cross product resultant, that when this is what the force and displacement is applied in the what plane? This plane is the XY plane. Okay. So, and the resultant you are getting along the Z axis vertically upward. If I'll rotate it backward, it is vertically downward. So it is satisfying your cross product phenomena, what is defined here. The resultant is vertically upward or the downward. This is what your unit vector. So this is what the simple example of your dot product and the cross product. So this is what we can conclude by this, that to solve the different problem, maybe engineering problem, maybe day-to-day life problem, but the engineers, they do generally the analysis. So to solve the engineering problem, that these are the two different problems. What is here? Here it is force into displacement, same thing, force into displacement, force and displacement, two phenomena, but the application is in different way. This force into displacement, this example, it is what? The simple linear displacement. And the force into displacement here, what? It is the angular displacement. It gets displaced vertically upward. So these are two different problems. To solve these two different problems, we require different analogy. So that's why we require this. So to solve the different engineering problem, we require this cross product and dot product. Now we'll go further beyond this cross product and dot product. Again, we will take the example of this cross product and dot product itself. Okay. Now, before going further, I need some definition or some phenomena. As I told that I am from electronics telecommunication engineering. So I'll take the example of this, and as I am a student of electromagnetic and microwave engineering, so this example I am taking. Obviously, it is the interdisciplinary example, you can say. So what is the field? Sometimes the field is said. Now, what is the definition? At each point of a region, there is a corresponding value of some physical function. The region is called field. So many such definition we read, write, and got the marks and go to the next semester or the next year. But very less time we try to understand it, what it means. So here, what it is, I'll give the one simple example. It is what the physical function corresponding, the physical function corresponding to the particular region. Means what? Suppose I'll take the example of the AC. I'm sitting in this room. I turn on the AC, and initially the room temperature may be suppose 28 degrees centigrade. Okay. So initially the temperature was 28 degrees centigrade, and then I turn on the AC. Now it is after 15-20 minutes, the AC temperature is to the 22 degrees centigrade. Now, what will be the room temperature? As I said, the AC, in sometimes you got this 22 degrees centigrade temperature of this room, due to the air conditioner. Now, what is this area? This room is having the field, the area that is with the 22 degrees centigrade temperature. Now, outside this room, maybe the different temperature, maybe 28 or maybe anything else. So whatever the outside room, that is the different temperature, 28 degrees centigrade. But in the boundary of this room, what is the temperature? It is 22 degrees centigrade. So this region of the room, it is the region of a field of particular temperature. Now this field can be classified into two parts, that is the scalar field and the vector field. So scalar field means temperature is the scalar quantity, so it is the scalar field. Height of the surface from height of the surface of the earth above the sea level, again it is the scalar quantity. So this is again the field. Vector field, the wind velocity. So whatever the wind velocity is there, wind is the vector quantity, so it is what the vector field. And there are so many other fields, that is the scalar field and the vector field. Now why I require this? Because I am going further vector analysis. For what? This is what the one parameter that most of the engineers are using, that is gradient, divergence, and curl. We are talking only these three parameters today. And their physical significance means what it means. Now, what is this gradient? Now, everyone, all of you know the partial differentiation. Here, I had taken the Cartesian coordinate system. The x-axis, this is what the Cartesian coordinate system. The three axes you can focus. This is what the x-axis, this is what the y-axis and z-axis. Okay. So the three axes are there, and in these three axes, ax, ay, and az, these are the vector along this particular axis. That is the unit vector that we know. Partial differentiation. What is partial differentiation? If you want to know the rate of change of any parameter, then you can take the partial differentiation. Now, what is this? Here, the first part, here the del operator is there. Now, what is this del? I have taken the Cartesian coordinate system. So del is, that is dabba by x. So along the x-axis, that is the partial differentiation along x-axis. Dabba by y, this is what the partial differentiation along the y-axis. Dabba by z, this is the partial differentiation along the z-axis. X, y, z, three axes and their unit vector. This is what your del operator. Now, what is v? Now, v we can take there. V is the temperature. Now, just now we have taken the example of temperature. Now, what this gradient we can understand? The gradient is what? Again, we'll come back to the example of this AC. Okay. Now, how we explain the gradient? This V is the temperature. Now, suppose this is what your coordinate system. Coordinate system always create a reference, because if you will not have any reference, then it is very difficult to understand any topic. So here, you just assume at the origin of this coordinate system, at the origin, I kept the AC. And what turn on the AC again in this room. So what happened? The AC start cooling. So the cooling pattern may not be like this, whatever the pattern I have shown here. That is only for the simple understanding. Maybe like this. So what the AC will do? It starts cooling along the x-axis. So along this xy plane. So it starts cooling along the x-axis, maybe along the y-axis and along the z-axis. Now, how we can take this as a gradient? That is the partial differentiation of temperature. What is that? Now, when I on the AC, in the example I told that the room temperature is 28 degrees centigrade, and I have set that AC temperature as 22 degrees centigrade. Now, all of a sudden, the room temperature from 28 degrees centigrade, whether it becomes to 22 degrees centigrade? No, it takes some time, and gradually it becomes 28 to 27 to 20 and till the 22. Okay. So what will be the rate of change? So this is what the partial differentiation along the x-axis. So I will take the x-axis. So what this V is the temperature. What will be the rate of change of temperature along x-axis is represented by this parameter. Rate of change of temperature along x-axis, this parameter, rate of change of temperature along the y-axis, this parameter, rate of change of temperature along the z-axis. So you will get the three-dimensional view of your room. What will be the rate of change of temperature along all these three axes? Now from this, what we can do? We can calculate the AC performance. That is, what will be the rate of change of temperature along x, y, z axis, and how fastly the AC can cool the room. So this is what you can have this the performance analysis of the AC. You can find it out. Similarly, you can find it out for any other parameter. So this is what I feel the simple example. It is very simple to understand. So this is what called gradient. It is a very basic phenomena, and this Dale operator we are using everywhere. So the Dale operator is partial differentiation of x, partial differentiation along the y-axis, partial differentiation along the z-axis. So we are representing the distance that is along the x-axis, and what rate of change we are considering? Rate of change of temperature. So this simple way we can have the analysis of the AC performance, or maybe the anything else. Okay. Now we will go further. So the next we will do. So next is the divergence. So similar to this. So in the gradient, we are taken what quantity? Scalar quantity. Now we will take the vector quantity. So this is what your vector quantity. Now we know that this Dale operator just now we have explained. Now this Dale operator multiplied by D may be any vector. What may be the D? D may be your wind velocity. Okay. So D may be your wind velocity. Again, you can have the wind velocity with reference to the coordinate system. Now what we are doing? The wind velocity is there, and we have taken here the dot product. Okay. So dot product, whatever the dot product we are taken, one is the Dale is also the vector quantity, and D is also the vector quantity. The resultant is scalar. So that's why here AX, AY, AZ is not there. So this is what the scalar quantity. Dot product resultant is the scalar that we know. So it is simplifying here. So if you will have a wind velocity, and what will be the rate of change of wind along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now, if you will have any cyclone or anything, so you must have to monitor that what will be the velocity of wind, and the most important parameter is what will be the rate of change of wind along the direction. If you will come to know the direction of the wind, so you can estimate in which direction it will progress. So here again we have to take a reference of the Cartesian coordinate system. Suppose you just assume the wind velocity at the origin. So what we will do, the rate of change of wind velocity along the x-axis, along the y-axis, and along the z-axis. So accordingly, you can predict that what will be the wind velocity and what will be the how the cyclone will progress and in which direction it will go. So based on this rate of change of, now here the parametric change, that is the wind velocity, rate of change of that along the x-axis, along the y-axis, and along the z-axis. So you can take the resultant. We have covered the entire three-dimensional region here. So this is what the vector analysis for the divergence. I hope I am clear. And the last important is the curl. So many times we require this, that is the curl. So here in the curl, it is a very interesting parameter. So many times you people solve this determinant. So maybe this parameter, so in the determinant I have taken, now again here the cross product I have taken. Initially the scalar product, then the dot product. Now here the cross product I have taken. Now del cross V. So we know that cross product we do solve according to the determinant, as I have taken the Cartesian coordinate system, that is along the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, and this is what the partial differentiation I have taken, that is the del operator, and this is what Vx, Vy, Vz, any vector quantity. You can take any vector quantity here. Okay. So what will be the resultant? So how to solve the determinant, that we know. So this will be the resultant. Now this is what the mathematics, but how to understand, what will be the application of this and how we can understand this. Now this is what the question. Now this is what very interesting. Now we can have a cricket ball. I'll give you the simple example. If your cricketer, maybe the spinner, if they will throw a ball, so what happened at the ground, the ball strike at some location and may divert to this direction. It may not go straight. So why it happened? Can we calculate that the direction of this ball, spinner baller, what it will do? It spin the ball and ball strike to the ground, and then by striking it change the direction either to left, right, or whatever it is. So it is based on what? So what this spin ball is having, it has two directions. One is the spin motion and another is the transverse motion. It goes from one place to another place. So with the example, how we can do this. So I will try to do this. You just, this is what a simple example of ball, and three examples I am showing here in a video. This is what a slow motion video. It is before 2-3 days I have recorded. This is my daughter's ball. She is 8-year-old and she helped me in recording this video also. And this example I got from her only. So you just see the ball, just I'm giving just push to this ball. This ball go in a straight direction and it come back. So this is what the simple phenomena, nothing great in this. That is, the ball go in a straight direction and it goes. This is the normal behavior, that ball is going according to the expectation. Okay. Now I'll go for the second example. Now this example, I am taking the example of the curl. Now what is this curls example? Now I am not throwing this ball straight. I will rotate the ball. So ball will have the spin motion. You just observe very carefully. So this ball I'm throwing, before throwing, I just rotate it. So what happened? The ball go and stop at this point. So it doesn't go forward. Why it happened? If you can see it again, just see. It go and just stop there. It doesn't go forward. Why this happened? This we have to analyze. Why this happened? as we throw the ball, again, you can see this, as we throw the ball, it go forward, but it strike and doesn't go forward, unlike the previous ball. Now, this is what one of the example. And here in to this ball, it has the spin motion. Okay. Now, what next? Now, this is what the example 2. The same ball. Now, in this example, what I am doing, in this example, the ball I am throwing and it going to some direction. Now, what you just see here, the ball go to the left hand side. Okay. So initially when the ball we throw, it just go and stop. Now when we throw the ball, it go to the left hand side, same video. Okay. Now why this happened? Can we analyze? This is the simple phenomena. Multiple times we play the ball from the childhood, but how we understand and how we just observe this, that why it happened. Okay. So we will come back to our mathematics. Now, what is this mathematics here? Again, the reference is what? Reference is the curl. So this we know. I assume that all of you know this. This is saying the what way the curl can be calculated. This is what the Dale operator. So same thing, partial differentiation, Cartesian coordinate system I have taken. This is the AX, AY, and AZ. And this is what the vector. Now here the speed we can say, or the velocity we can say, and this is what the things here. So the partial differentiation we are taking between these two, the y-axis, z-axis, and the something is there if you will solve the determinant. So how it come, how you can analyze. So when there is the spin ball afterwards, so you can tell your friend, and I can analyze the whatever the motion of this ball, and I can predict whether it will go to the left hand side or the right hand side. So it is quite interesting. So how to analyze? Now we are going to analyze it. But before going for the three-dimensional view, we will go for the cricket ball. So it will be a little bit difficult for understanding. So what I have taken the two-dimensional view. Now what is this two-dimensional view? Here I have taken here this is what your x-axis. This is what your x-axis. Then here the next is your y-axis, x-axis, y-axis. So simply two-dimensional x-y axis plane I have taken. Now in the plane, what I'll do, this is what a simple leaf. Now what is this example? Now this is the rainy season. You might have observed that maybe with a piece of paper or the leaf, it float on a water and it goes this way, but it doesn't go straight. Sometimes what it go and just rotate about it and then it go. So this leaf, it may have the spin motion, it will have the transverse motion, but it may have the spin motion. Now based on what parameter this spin motion is there, we are trying to understand the curl, concept of the curl. Now here I will just consider one thing, that is the velocity. Suppose Vx, x is along the x-axis. Vx is the velocity of this leaf. So if this is the constant velocity, so what happened? This leaf, it will go from straight along the x-axis, parallel to x-axis. This way it will go. So it will go this way. Then if I will take the another parameter. Now what is this another parameter? That is the velocity at this end of the leaf. At this end of the leaf is Vx, but at this end of the leaf, it is not Vx. If it is simply Vx, then it will go straight, but it is not. It is having some differential parameter. Now, what is the differential parameter? It is the velocity. What this velocity, this Vx, it is differentiating. Now, according to what? It is differentiating along the y-axis. From this point to this point, it is what? Along the y-axis, it is the differentiation. And dy is the distance from this edge to this edge. I'll repeat again. Vx is the velocity along the x-axis. This Vx is along the x-axis. If the velocity at this edge and at this edge, if they are simple, तो leaf will go straight along the x-axis, parallel to the x-axis, straight, सीधा घर पे जाएगा. But if it will have the additional parameter, so it will not go straight, it will have the spin motion. What this parameter, if this parameter, what is this parameter? That we'll understand. So this is the partial differentiation of velocity Vx along the y, that is along the y-axis. So this is partial differentiation of Vx along the y-axis. And what is this dy? It is the distance from here to here. If it is the small particle point, so this dy will not come into the picture. It is simply this parameter. Now, if this parameter is positive, then what happened? Vx plus this some parameter. Suppose here it is the speed is 5 meters per second, and again here 5 kilometer, suppose kilometer, 5 kilometer per second or whatever the unit 5, and here it is 5 plus 0.5. So here 5.5 velocity here will be the 5.5 velocity at this end is 5. So what at this end the velocity will be more, so it will rotate as it will have the straight velocity, that is the transverse velocity as well as speed. So as this factor is positive, so it will rotate anti-clockwise this way and it will go straight. If this factor is negative, what happened? It will, this will be 5 and this will be 5 minus 0.5 example. So it will rotate in a clockwise direction. So you can decide based on what factor the parameter whether it will rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise. But this is only one factor. We are consider the velocity along the x-axis only. But in the general, in practical, it has both the component, that is the x component and the y component. So what, I'll take the another component also, and then we'll say collectively. Now here the velocity along the y-axis also. So this is Vy, and velocity along the y-axis at this edge and this edge. Similar to this, this is having velocity Vy, and at this edge Vy plus some parameter same to this. As the Vy is there, so partial differentiation of Vy along the x-axis. So from this point to this point, it is along the x-axis. So partial differentiation is taken along the x-axis, and dx is the distance from this point to this point. This is what the dx. Okay. Now what happened? Now we will consider the both collectively. This Vx, Vy, and all these parameters. Now when this factor, whatever the additional factor of Vy and additional factor of Vx, if it is 0 and this velocity are same, the Vx is 5, Vy is 5. So what happened? It will go diagonally straight. Okay, it will go diagonally straight here this way. But if these two factors are there, then how you can decide? So these are the deciding parameter. Now here, if this factor is 0.5 and if this factor is 0.6, initially what I told, the Vx is 5, Vy is also 5, but here this factor, it is what I'll consider it is 0.5 and it is 0.6. So this one is more, as if you will take these two factor differences. If this factor is more as compared to this, what will happen? It will rotate anti-clockwise. It will rotate anti-clockwise. Now, if this factor is higher as compared to this, so it will rotate clockwise. So based on which factor is higher, based on this, it will rotate in clockwise or anti-clockwise. So here you just see that is what is the deciding factor. Now here dx and dy, if I will consider this at the point instead of the entirely single point I consider, so I can take a difference of this. So partial differentiation of Vy with respect to x, partial differentiation of Vy with respect to x, minus partial differentiation of Vx with respect to y, and Az. From where Az comes? As this is x-axis, y-axis, but rotation is about what? The rotation is about the z-axis, as it is in the xy plane, and rotation is about the z-axis. It is rotating this way about the z-axis. So that's why it is Ez. So this will give you the rotation of this, and this is what the only one direction. You just compare with this. What it is? Partial differentiation of Vy it is this Z, AZ. So you can compare with this. That is the partial differentiation of this Vy with respect to X minus partial differentiation of Vx with respect to Vy. So this factor is same as this. So what if this is the single directional point we have taken, not the 3D. We have taken only this XY plane and the rotation is about only Z axis we are considered. So it is easy to understand. So this factor you got. So what curl will give? So curl will give you the rotation, transverse motion as well as the spin motion. So by this example, your curl is giving you the transverse motion as well as the spin motion. So there are so many examples. I hope I'm clear here. So there are so many examples here to identify and to understand this. So when you will go for the search problem, the very prominent thing come in between is what your whatever your views. That always if you are a student, so what we are thinking exam point of view. So we want to clear the exam, we want to get the marks. That is okay. It should be there. But if you want to understand the fundamentals, so if you will understand these fundamentals, it will help you and it will create a passion, a happiness, a satisfaction in you that yes, I know something in this subject what I'm learning. Otherwise, what happened if forcefully we are learning any subject that maybe somebody has put up you in the engineering or whatever the stream you are working, your parents or maybe forcefully you are taken due to the peer pressure and you are not passionate about this, you are not happy about this. So why you are not happy? Because you are not taken this as the passion. You don't try to understand what the things are there. These are the very slow things. It require a lot of efforts. So if you will take a little bit efforts initially, you will feel it is interesting and you will get interest in doing all these things. If you will get interest in doing all these things, so it will create your passion and what happened? It will give you happiness. So what my last slide here that you have to enjoy of life. So if you will, any difficult problem is given to you, so you can try to solve that problem. And if you will try to enjoy that moment, not possible because everything that what is given to us, that is not by the choice. We don't get the things by the choice. Maybe 90% or 99% the things that we have that are by the force, not by choice. But here the thing is that how we can convert the things by force which is given to us to the things by choice. How we can convert it. And if we are able to convert it, then we are able to enjoy any moment, whether it is solving the difficult problem, it is appearing for the whatever the problems we have given to appear that problem or do anything. So what you don't like, if you will try to like it, and then you will enjoy it. So similar type of the videos on the, mostly they are from the electromagnetic work fundamental. They are available on this YouTube channel that is named Dr. Vinit Kumar Dongre. So if you are interested, so you can go here. So this is from my side. So this is thank you all of you for your patience listening. And if it is required, then we can go for the question answer session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vineet Kumar, sir. You have exemplified. Thank you, Vineet Kumar, sir. You have exemplified application of mathematics in the most simplified form. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with our audience. And this makes me sure that the valuable insights gained here by the audience today will be very useful and remarkable to them to their application in the future. The participants are our assets, and they are the ones who determine the success of our event. And their feedback will speak for our hard work and the effectiveness of the content delivered in the webinar. Hence, I would like to bring to your attention that the feedback and quiz link will be shared soon in the chat box. Now, I would like to invite Neeta Jain ma'am, our moderator of the day, to take over the session to question and answer. The floor is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Shruti. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope, Shruti, I am audible. Hello, am I audible, Shruti?
Yes.
Thank you, Vinit sir, for enlightening us with an interdisciplinary topic. You rightly said, interest make the task easy and simpler. You connected mathematics with real life situations so nicely and in a simpler manner. Vector analysis is really a nightmare for many of us. You discuss its application in length and breadth, and I hope with this understanding, teachers' explanation and students' understanding for vector analysis will be far easier now. So I hope whenever now we see the cricket match or whenever we are seeing a leaf floating in a rainy water, we will be able to recall curl so easily, whether we are a mathematics from mathematics background or a without mathematics background. Your explanation was that simple, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Can I take upon the question, sir?
Yes, madam. Please go ahead.
Okay. So first question we received from Dr. Roshan Lal Makar, industry person from Samir, Mumbai. Sir, are you there? Roshan, sir, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Could you ask your question, sir? You are audible, sir. Please carry on.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And thank you, Dr. Vinit, for pretty nice session. And I basically hail from a research institute which is in microwave electronics, and I personally work in the field of photonics. So I can tell you one thing with confidence, with the experience of 22 years, that most of the time the students, they don't take up electromagnetics because they don't understand all these vector equations, and they are not able to visualize the fields and the resulting equations and the Maxwell equations and other things. So I think pretty simply, Dr. Vinit has tried to explain. So thank you for that. And I have two questions, if you allow me to ask. Am I allowed to ask more than one question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are allowed, sir. Please
so the first question is that now with this COVID-19 pandemic thing, there is so much of mathematical data. There is so much excessive scientific and mathematical information. So what do you think, what would be the implication for all this data for the public understanding and also for the students, for education? So this is my first question. Would you like to answer, Dr. Vinit, this question?
As I understand your question, that is what the data in COVID-19 we got and the mathematical model that has helped us and what is its impact. Is it your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So according to my understanding, that as I told that I am not mathematician, I am like you, or you are a scientist, I am a student. So here there are so many models came to predict and to analyze, and their animated models also there were there, and what will be the impact and how the doubling and all these things will be there. So the impact, as per my understanding, as if we say that initially the numbers were number of the affected people were in the hundreds and then thousands, now it is in lakhs. But still the fear about the situation and all these things that get reduced. So there are the multiple reasons that why the fear in our mind get reduced, but the important reason maybe the mathematical understanding of this, because in the media and everywhere they just put the doubling. The simple example is the doubling ratio. Doubling ratio, that is simple, that if one patient is there, then it becomes 2, and 2 are there, then it becomes 4. So the doubling ratio in the duration, particular duration, initially it was in the 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 12 day, and now it is increasing. So what happened, if you will analyze it, so due to this analysis, our confidence gets boost. Obviously, here the psychological factors are there, but as per the mathematics, if we will consider, so this doubling ratio, it gives us as the doubling happens in a longer duration. So this is what the one of the simple model that every one of us have understood, and it impacts a lot. There are so many other models, and it has their own impact. So the psychological impact as well as the mathematical model impact, the impact is there. So you can ask your second question.
Okay.
Roshan
I was
sir.
seeing some comments. Some people are commenting their implication in data science, and one person is mentioning in the missiles also. These are heavily used. I learned from your introduction that you are expert in IPR thing. So how do you think that this kind of fundamental understanding of mathematics or engineering mathematics will help the students to write research papers or produce IPR? What is your vision on that?
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this question, because this is what the area I would like to talk. The fundamental understanding, as per if you will take any topic or the subject what you study, according to my understanding, the two things greatly impact on it. Very first thing is your interest to do this, and second thing is the fundamental understanding of that particular thing. So if, as I am the student of the electromagnetic, so I should have the fundamental understanding of electromagnetic or the microwave, then and then I can do something in that. And second thing is I should have the interest. These are the two basic things. Now regarding the fundamental, here the subject fundamentals will be there, but the mathematical modeling or the mathematical understanding of that particular thing, if you will see, if I'll say the electromagnetic wave, so electromagnetic wave having the two factors, that is the electric field, magnetic field, and this is what the way of propagation. So they propagate in this direction, but they don't propagate directly this, they just rotate and go. Now this concept, this is what one of the simple example I have taken. If you will take this concept, here if your concept of the curl are clear, then you are able to visualize it in a better manner. So if you will able to understand the fundamental, and if you are able to visualize it, it will give you a great advantage or the scope for your further research. Here, my understanding or my belief is that if your imagination is more powerful, then you can be a great researcher, then you can file more patents, or you can create more intellectual property. So your imagination must be great, but this imagination must be supported with the fundamental, and mainly the mathematical fundamental. What the mathematical fundamental will give you the general guideline, the general understanding. It gives a generalized the things, make it mathematics make the things generalized. So it is very helpful, but it is very difficult task if for a researcher, if you will do research, do the experiment, and with your empirical result, if you will correlate with the mathematics, but it is a challenging. But yes, if you will have the fundamentals, it will help you in a great. So am I answer your question, sir?
Yeah. I think you explained it very nicely. Thank you very much. And just one last note, that you said ki you are a scientist and I am a student. Even I am also a student. So you remain student for electromagnetic or engineering for all through your life. Thank you very much for your nice answers to your questions.
Thank you, sir.
And for the organizing team also.
Thank you, Roshan sir, for your question. Thank you, Vinit sir, wonderful answer. The second one, which we have received from Dr. Arun Dhiva Rane, Associate Professor, Father Rodriguez College of Engineering, Mumbai. Are you there, sir? Arun sir, are you there? Could you hear me? Arun sir?
Madam, I think he got disconnected
He
because
is
of...
not there.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I ask Mohit Gupta student of TCET from ITA to continue with the question? Mohit, are you there? Both of them have the same question. So Mohit. So what should I do, Dongre sir? Can I read out the question or should I take up the next question?
You can read. If you want to read, you can read.
I have a question with me. Can I read out the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question received from both of them, Arun sir and Mohit, is in the current situation where maximum students fear mathematics, how to make them realize the importance of mathematics?
Okay. So
and this is very common to the engineering students.
This was the question everywhere. We have to try, obviously. There are so many things that we can do, but as if you will take any example, and if you will take the application base, I have taken 2-3 application for explaining the vector analysis, and if you will take the similar application, so if you permit, I think I have that slide, so I can just share if I will have, I'll share one slide.
Yeah, we have a time. I think Jahi sir, can we proceed with that slide?
One slide,
no
so that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So here I'll give one simple example. Here the slide is with me. So that's why, fortunately. So this is what the simple example to this, how to make it interesting. There are so many ways, but one of the way is this. This is what the simple example where we have the formula for a sphere. So here, what is that? Find the area of a strip between the angle alpha and beta on the sphere having radius a. This is very generalized problem. And what is the result when alpha equals to 0 and beta equals to pi? Now, what is this? This is a sphere, a ball. And here it is the strip line. Now, before that, if you will go, because to make it simplified, you need to put efforts. And you should have the understanding of the basics. So the understanding of basics is what here we require the understanding of coordinate system. So I'll not go in that. So to solve this problem, it is a simple strip, and on this strip you have to find it out the area of this strip. So how to find it out? So simple, by the double integration you can find it out this. So double integration gives the area. Sometimes we know this, sometimes we may not know this. So by double integration, what to do? This is the simple formula where we can get from the coordinate system. That is, to explain this formula, I need 1 more hour. So I will not go in the detailed explanation of this. This is r square sine theta d phi. This is what the double integration formula for the sphere. So you can put any limit. So as in the given limit 0 to 2 pi. So why 0 to 2 pi? Because this whatever the entire ring, here it is the pi, whatever the phi, this is what the phi angle about the x-axis. So it is completely 360 degree, and this is what theta about the z-axis. So this theta, alpha and beta angles are given. So if you will put in the double integration, now this is what double integration problems we did so many times. We know the formulation, everything, but application base if we will do. So whatever the parameter I put 0 to 2 pi is what the limit of the phi, and alpha to beta is limit of the theta, and the formulation r square sine theta d phi. So this, what is the radius? Radius equals to a. So a become constant. Simply you can solve this. This is what the simple integration. Now by solving this, you will get, this is the result. Okay. So the result for this alpha and beta. Now if you will make alpha equals to 0 and beta equals to pi. So what happened? It becomes a complete sphere. So if you will put 0 and pi, so what it becomes? It becomes 2 multiplied by 2. So what it becomes? It becomes 4 pi a square or 4 pi r square. So what is 4 pi r square? It is the trigonometric formula where we can have the sphere of the area. Now this is what the simple double integration, coordinate system and trigonometric area. So this is, if I will club all this with some simple example. So by this way, you can explain it. So this is what one of the way you can explain it. So my intention here is if you will give some example. So by the example, it can be create. But sometimes what happened, we just go for the formulation, mug up it, put up in the paper and get the marks. That was only the intention. So sometimes we are, if we will correct our intention to study that subject, so it will help us. This is what I think.
Thank you, sir, for explaining. If we relate mathematics concept with application, students will be more interested in learning the mathematics. This is what my takeaway from this particular explanation. I take up on the next question. I take the question of Professor Rajan Kumar Lad, Assistant Professor, GIDC Degree Engineering College, Navsari, Gujarat. Sir, are you there? Lad, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Please ask
Thank
your
you.
question.
Sir, it is a very good session taken by you. And when I was learning in engineering, at that time, most of the time, I'm mug up all the fundamentals. And curl is a very, because I don't have idea about the curl, but today you explaining such a way, it is very useful for me. And I have one question. Mathematics remain a core fundamental for engineering. Does our curriculum need reform for better learning of mathematics?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. Sir, my opinion is the syllabus reform is the one of the way, but I will more focus on the implementation of the syllabus. In the
Okay.
syllabus, there are the required things. Most of the universities for the mathematics, there are the required things. But the approach, our approach to that particular syllabus is the major thing. If we will approach the particular subject in an application base and try to create interest among the students, because if you are the electronics and telecommunication branch, so you know that the electromagnetic and RF, these are the very dry subject, and it is very difficult to create interest in this subject. But if you will correlate the industry example, day-to-day life example, then it will be very simple. Now, unfortunately, the mathematics we are teaching separately, and the core engineering subject we are teaching separately. They are not connected. So if we will have the connection between mathematics and the core engineering subject, whatever the subject you are teaching, so if it will get correlate, at least at the time of teaching of that particular subject, if you will refresh that concept, because you don't need to teach students the double integration because they have studied in the N+2 or the first year or in their mathematics. So if you will teach them with the example and with the application, so obviously it will help student, and it will, I hope it will create a great difference in the learning process of the student.
Okay, sir. But nowadays I've seen in our university as well as one of the university in the Rajasthan, they cut the mathematics portion. They are cut the mathematics from the third semester. They cut from the fourth semester. Then how they will understand properly their core subject with the fundamental of mathematics?
Sir, according to my understanding, there are two things that they should know the basic. That is, there are some limitations sometimes for the mathematics, and for the portion, if you will teach the portion, whatever you require in second semester, third semester, fourth semester, I think it is required. But we can correlate. If we will betterly correlate, then it is good. As the many institute becoming the autonomous institute, as now we are the autonomous institute, so we can do so many changes. And as per my understanding, government policy is that government want to give the autonomy to the institute, those they are willing with a quality education. So it will help the educational system to improve their entire syllabus, including mathematics.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I hope, Lad sir, you received your answer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Lad sir, for asking the question. Thank you, Vinit sir, for answering the question. Now I take upon the next question, which is from Mr. Sandeep Kakde, Assistant Professor, Yashwantrao Chavan College of Engineering, Nagpur. Kakde sir, are you there? Could you hear us?
Yes, he is there, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, could you ask your question?
Yeah, ma'am, first of all, I want to thank the organizer for organizing such a live and good webinar. And Vinny sir has nicely explained the basic mathematical analysis which is required in mathematics for all the undergraduate and postgraduate also. My question is how much, what is the significance of this mathematics portion as far as data science is concerned? Because nowadays data science becomes a very boom field now, so lots of people want to make their career. So for them this only thing is sir has explained the dot product, cross product and curve analysis, but as far as my concern is there, in data science the whole part is about this
Linear algebra
matrix multiplication.
and statistics.
Yeah, statistics. So how can sir focus on this?
Okay. Sir, as per my background is concerned, I am not from the computer engineering or IT or from the data science. My background is electronics telecommunication engineering, and I don't know the detail mathematics required in the data science in general, but I can comment on your question in general, because every engineering subject require a mathematics, because mathematical analysis of every subject is needed. Most of the subject where we require the we require the mathematical analysis of that particular subject. Now, if I'll take the example, yesterday I was discussing with my fellow colleague regarding some your search engine. Okay, so in the search engine also you can have the application of the vector. So if you will have the any search, if you want to do, suppose you want to do the search of Thakur College of Engineering. So the every search name represent one number, and this number represent as a vector. And when it search with the minimum distance with the vector. So it uses the vector analysis concept. So why this example I given, that if you want to go for any algorithm, whatever the algorithm you are going, so you can have the mathematical understanding, you require it, and you depending on the subject accordingly we have to implement it. So need not necessary that the vector analysis is taken for mechanical engineering, same way it should be taken, concept will remain same, but the application will change. So we have to change the application to application, and if we will able to change the application and implement it for that application with little bit modification, then yes, we will able to do it in a very interesting manner. Am I answer, sir, your question?
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Actually, whatever part you have discussed is very informative, and from student point of view, it's very useful.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I think the madam get muted.
Hello. I got unmuted. Oh, I got muted. Sorry for that. Can I take up on the next question, sir? Now I invite student of TCET from Civil Department, Jay Rai Surana. Jay, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, please carry on. Ask your
Uh,
question.
yes, sir. So my question is that humans are great visual learners, and maths being an abstract subject. So in engineering, most of the subjects have a theoretical as well as a practical, lecture or a session. So how do you think a practical math session can be implemented in a current system where we have a crunch of time to complete a large amount of portion?
Okay. Now, as per this learning is concerned, mathematics and the physical significance of it, the two way it can be done. Most of the time, some of the whatever the available now here, everything we cannot do in the college or in the laboratory because we have the limitation of the infrastructure and the infrastructure with the available infrastructure you can do so many things. Okay, so whatever the available infrastructures are there, with that you can do so many things. As per the electronics telecommunication in engineering department is concerned, we have so many things to analyze that particular subject and with reference to mathematics, because we are doing the calculation of most of the experiment. We are doing some calculation. We have the most of the experiment, we have the observation table, and then we are doing some analysis. So that analysis are the mathematical analysis, obviously. But if you will implement and understand, it is at the individual part. It is at the individual part. At the individual part, if you will take an interest and try to further analysis, as in the TCT, we have implemented the design experiment. So in at least in these two design experiment, if you will include the detailed mathematical analysis, or in the particular experiment where you feel, suppose your faculty has given up to this limit, if you will extend it to the one step ahead and give some extended mathematical analysis or simple analysis of that particular experiment, it will also great. It will be helpful to you. The basic thing is we should understand and we should have a wish or at least a view to go ahead. So if you, I'm able to give you the question that how to go ahead about this, how I can implement this in the civil engineering, how I can implement this in your concrete lab, this lab, that lab. So if you will think on this way, obviously you will get a way. But the very first step is if you will think on this way, you will get the way, and obviously your understanding in that particular subject as well as in the mathematics, it will get in. So am I
Thank you,
answering
sir.
your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jay, for asking the question. And thank you, Vinit sir, for answering it. Now, can I ask Mansi Mishra, TCT students from electronics department to ask the question?
Yes, ma'am. Am I
Are
audible?
you there? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Vineet, sir, my question was
Ah,
how
yeah.
proficient a computer engineering student should be,
Okay.
considering that only few feel like machine
ये last
learning
question है
require
तो conclude करती हूँ.
proficient mathematics.
Okay. So I want to understand your question. Your question is only machine learning require mathematics, not the other subject. Is it your question?
So not only machine learning, but a good and a complex knowledge of mathematics is required in machine learning. But how proficient our knowledge should be to do that?
Okay. So here, as you can start from a very baby step, from the very initial step. So if you want to start from this mathematics and all these things, I'll recommend that every subject or the every machine learning or data science or anything else is an invention by a particular science or a particular scientist or a group of scientists, or it is a complete chain that somebody has initiated it, and then the gradual improvements become in this. So if you will start learning this and how they have developed, so in that also you will get so many things. You will get that how the development is there, and in that what you will understand how gradual improvement is there, and sometime, most of the time, the mathematics is also involved in this. So if you will start initially I'm talking at the very initial stage. So if you will start with very initial stage, reading the stories of the scientists and just going on that, and then step by step you are going on in the detail. So you will be consistent in doing this. So you require both the things. You require to improve your fundamental, but yes, you require to maintain your interest in that particular thing also. So these two things, if you are able to balance, so obviously you will improve in the things what you want to do. Is it
Thank
okay?
you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansi. Thank you, Vinit sir, for answering what kind of mathematics proficiency is needed for learning the engineering subjects. With this, we conclude today's session. Thank you, Vinit sir, for a wonderful session. It has been
with its registration link in the Telegram group. If you have not joined the group yet, I request you all to join the group to get updates about the webinar series. The certificates will be issued to each of the participants who will fill the feedback form and complete a quiz with minimum of at least 40%, and it should be done at the latest by 4 p.m., after which